Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my first video review for this year's Game of Thrones episodes. This week we got to see the premiere Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 1, which was called Two Swords. Alright, so what did we think of the premiere for Game of Thrones Season 4? I like this one. This one was pretty good to me, especially, of course, the ending. As always, my reviews do contain spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the episode yet. You may or may not want to watch this review. So, man, this episode's ending, I absolutely love. The Hound and Arya are becoming, like, my favorite pair in the series. You know how you have all the different storylines that are occurring at once. You have the Wall, you have King's Landing, you have, Daenerys and what's going on with her, all these different things. But out of all of them, seeing the ending here with Arya and the Hound, I love so much. I love the way they play off each other, the banter between them. How she says, like, lots of people name their swords, and then he replies lots of cunts and all these different. They constantly back and forth just have this totally different outlook on life and on things, and it's really funny to see Arya and the Hound together. So the battle at the end, that was pretty traumatizing to see Arya. She repeats back to that one guy that killed her friend earlier. I think it was last season. I think it was season 4. Was it season 3. I don't think it was season 2. Yeah, season 3, I think, when her friend there was killed with Needle, her sword, the kid who couldn't walk. And I really liked in this one how she said back to that guy, the bald guy who killed him, exactly as she's killing him, what he said. It was pretty dramatic and a great scene at the end. Some of the best parts of it I love was when the Hound was punching guys. There was 5-6 guys there or something like that, and he'd be fighting with the one hand with the sword, and the other one he'd boom, just you feel the impact, you feel the force when he hits these guys, and they're just just totally out of it. And then Arya, of course, jumps in at the end and actually helps him out. So that scene, or all of that right there, was excellent. We know they're on their way to the Vale, so that the Hound thinks it's probably his best shot of what to do with Arya. Maybe sell her to her aunt, at the Vale, and then maybe she'll be grateful that he did that, let him go, or I don't know, he can kind of disappear or do something past that if he can get some gold out of the deal. So really exciting there. Loved what we got to see with those two this episode. Lots of fun for sure. We'll rewind a bit, go back to kind of the start of the episode, and go over some things. We had the flashback sequence, just a couple minutes. Was really good. Set us up for where we're at right now in the title of the episode, which is, of course, Two Swords. We got to see pretty quickly why that was, or why they referred to the episode as that. Of course, as Tywin is melting down Ned Stark's sword to create two new ones, one for Jaime and one for King Joffrey. And the way they shot it was really good, almost as if he was, doing some kind of ritual, like a real ritualistic type thing, as he's having the metal of the Valyrian steel melted down from Ned's sword and then rebuilt. And then also, of course, you have the wolf pelt that he throws into the fire as well. Just kind of to give us a visual, a showing of his sort of victory over the Starks. This is representing that he has overcome another challenge in his life. Tywin has defeated the Starks, and as to add insult to injury, he is going to be taking essentially what they have. Taking that sword, taking that super rare metal, and using it to further protect his family in the future with great some great quality swords. So that was cool. Really like the start of it. We got to see our first scenes with Prince Oberyn. We knew in the trailer he was going to be coming this season, and a fantastic new character, very interesting in the actor, the way he plays him. I really like a lot, and he's kind of a very different character from what we're used to. The way he behaves himself. He's at the brothel, Little Fingers brothel there. He's got his bastard girlfriend wife type situation thing going on there, and she's like picking out she's picking out a girl, and then he's like I don't know what he's doing with the guy that is sent there to kind of show them off, that kind of thing. So that was different. That was definitely different from what I'm used to. But then, of course, that is quickly interrupted by some Lannister men also there. And quickly, Prince Oberyn shows his hatred of Lannisters and shows how much with a nice example with cutting that dude in the wrist. So really cool character. Really interested to see what happens with him. Also loved the lines afterwards as he's talking to Tyrion and describing what happened to his sister Ilya and her children, and what the mountain did to them. So my favorite of all that, of course, is the line from the trailer: "Tell your father I am here. Tell him the Lannisters aren't the only ones who pay their debts." And I really love the delivery of it. I really love the way he plays Oberyn. Very cool, and I really enjoyed seeing him. Probably so far my favorite new character of Game of Thrones season 4. And we get to see what it's like with Jaime back at the King's Landing. We see him talking with Tywin. Tywin wants him to go back to Casterly Rock, and he wants to stay at King's Landing so that he can, well, he doesn't tell him this obviously, but so basically he can be with Cersei. Strange afterwards, the scene between him and Cersei as she kind of pushes him away, and he's been back for a little while now, and she doesn't seem to be interested in the least. They kind of have some good dialogue back and forth as they speak about, how long he was gone, this kind of thing, being gone too long. We see him with getting his new hand, which was cool, and of course wanting to stay in the King's Guard. Then we get another scene with Joffrey, as if we didn't hate him enough already. Just another example of how much of a just little prick Joffrey is, as he basically talks about how he broke Stannis on the Blackwater, and all this just nonsense with him, and is kind of rude to Jaime, which is kind of a strange. It's a strange scene to see, because Jaime's kind of looking at him and thinking to himself, well, we don't know exactly what he was thinking, but I can only imagine something along the lines of like, this is my son right here, and he's like the biggest little prick ever, and he's not respectful whatsoever. And it's just, I don't know, he's you can't hate Joffrey enough. It's every scene he's in, he constantly is just a dick to somebody, a jerk, whatever adjective you want to use to describe him. He's just, you can't hate Joffrey enough. He's probably one of the most hated characters I've ever seen in a TV series, if not the most. So there's that, and going on from there, we also got to see some scenes with Sansa at King's Landing. You have her not wanting to eat, her being depressed, which is, you can understand that. Then later on, we have Sir Dantas, who gives her a necklace, which was kind of a weird scene. It was shot almost as like, well, what's going to happen? Is he going to attack her or something? Or what is this? But I like the scene overall. I thought it was kind of touching, and she, her saying at the end that she'll wear it with pride. So that was good. I like that. In addition to that, we had some with Brienne of Tarth, and I liked when she meets Granny Tyrell, and she, just kind of her reaction as she kind of looks at her to see the size of her. I thought that was funny. And let's see. It's pretty much all I got to say for King's Landing, I think, at this point. The Wall and the wildlings. So we get to see Jon at the Wall confessing everything that he knows, and them allowing him to basically keep his head, which was cool. Because, of course, even though he had betrayed all their vows and everything, at the same time, he brought them such useful intel. He's like a spy, so to speak, that they can now react to Mance Rayder's attack. So they'll be able to counterattack. They'll be better prepared. And we also meet the Thens as part of from the wildling point of view, Ygritte and Tolman. And we see the one, and those guys are freaky, man. Those guys scare me, especially when you just see them, sit down near the fire, and it zooms in the fire on what they're about to eat. Oh man! And he's talking about how the crows are fat, and how Tolman should try crow before he dies. That guy freaks me out. He's really scary. And I think that's pretty much all I want to say for the episode. I'll keep this review kind of short. Obviously, a lot of stuff happens because we're looking at these Game of Thrones episodes are actually an episode and a half of a regular TV series, because you get a solid hour rather than your 40 minutes with 20 minutes of commercials, because HBO has no commercials. So I'm going to basically, with the reviews this year, I'm going to try to keep them around 10 minutes long. I don't want to go on longer than that because, I mean, there's a lot of different things that happen throughout the episodes, and I'll be kind of touching on the things that stuck out to me the most because there's so much dialogue that, I don't want to go through everything. I'd be here for like an hour, right? Or longer, maybe 2 hours. So all around for a premiere, I don't have the highest expectations for the Game of Thrones premieres. They usually tend to be a little slow to start, and then they have different high points versus other series. A lot of times they'll have like a formula. Premiere's the big one, finale's the big one, and then in the middle it's kind of slow. Game of Thrones doesn't follow that. They have their own style where, like, the second last episode of the season is usually the finale. The last episode is recovering from the finale, and then the beginning of the new season is reintroducing us to our characters, where they're at quickly, because we have so many different, locations, so many different things going on, and it's kind of like it's just kind of like a reintroduction to where everybody's at, rather than some kind of big exciting episode. Also Daenerys, so the stuff with the dragons are looking big, looking full grown, which was cool to see them kind of fight over food, and them kind of realizing, or Daenerys kind of realizing that they're dragons, and no matter what, she'll never completely be able to tame them because they're dragons. So she's close to Marine, and they changed the actor for Dario Noharis. That threw me through a loop. I was like, who is this guy? And then they referred to him quickly as that, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize they were changing out that actor. So the new guy, I thought was, he's okay, but the other guy kind of fit the role. He looked more the part of what I'm used to seeing him as. So that'll be a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a change. The other guy seemed more of like a pretty boy. He doesn't have facial hair. He's clean shaven. He's got the long hair. I personally think the other guy's look reminds me more of that actor, or I'm sorry, of that character, versus the new guy who's got the kind of the scruffiness and everything. I preferred the older one, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll get used to the newer one too. So all in all, to give it a score, I'm going to give the premiere a 9 out of 10. Thought it was great. I don't have the highest expectations for the GOT premieres or finales because, again, like I said, the formula they use is different than a lot of other shows. So a 9 out of 10 for me for this one. Two Swords, great episode. Really excited for the new season. Hopefully the Purple Wedding will be coming up soon. I guess we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the premiere of Game of Thrones Season 4. I thought it was great. Especially loved the final scenes with Arya and the Hound. I love that stuff. So anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trent. As always, stay in peace.